Welcome to WHOOOSH, your Duran Duran Radio special with Simon and Katy. And we have a special guest with us this morning. I always feel a bit weird saying that. You just heard the Jan Hammer Group with Don't You Know?
Hi, everyone. It's Katy. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hi, Simon.
Hello, Katy.
Hello. I, not surprising, love Jan Hammer and the Jan Hammer Group because, as you know, Miami Vice, he did the Miami Vice theme and he did the music for the first four. Well, I did research. He did do the music for the first 4 seasons of Miami Vice, and music was such an important part of that show that I was so excited to hear this track on your list. And you know who else I think was excited to hear this track? Maybe 15 years ago, the band Air, because I'm
sure
because yes. I would imagine they
you can hear the seeds of Air in Jan Hammer, can't you? Absolutely.
Sure?
And if you listen to the album, you hear a lot more of it, I think.
Yeah, but how progressive.
And just think about all the music that has been inspired by Air. So you can trace all of that back to Jan Hammer.
I mean, really progressive for 1977. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, I'd like to move on and introduce our special star guest in the WHOOOSH studio. Here she is. Big round of applause, please. Let's hear it for the girl in question. This is Tallulah Le Bon. Hey!
Welcome, Tallulah.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my goodness. This is so exciting. I'm very happy to have you here. How are you on this fine morning, evening, afternoon?
I'm good. I'm a little bit toasty. It's pretty warm here in London. So just reacclimatizing to the lack of rain.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's warm here in New York today as well. Mm-hmm. But bring on summer, I say. Bring on the end of school, I say even louder. Mm-hmm. So, Tallulah, what brings you into the WHOOOSH radio studio today?
Well, Amber came on the other week, didn't she? And I just got a bit jealous, I suppose. And so it would be so unfair to have one daughter and not at least one of the other two. So here I am.
And you know me, I do not have a favorite daughter.
Except
I've got one that owns more money than the other two.
Okay.
But we won't divulge which one. We won't divulge whose that is. But you know, I've got to say that Tallulah was really instrumental in turning me back onto music. I don't know if we talked about this before, but one of the things about the whole COVID-19 situation, for me personally, it's given me an opportunity to really get back into music.
Yeah.
And the one person who more instrumental than anybody else in doing that for me and helping me get there is Tallulah Le Bon, sitting right next to me. And
well, it's taken long enough.
Well, you know what? I mean, we've had this conversation before, but when you're in a band and you play music all the time, you start to just think that it's only. You think, oh my God, it's just so hard to have any time to listen to anybody else because I'm so completely absorbed by my own music. Not so much because it's better or it's worthy, but because it's it's a hard job and it takes your attention. But right now, we've got this opportunity to do things, and I'll never stop doing this. I'm never going to stop checking out new bands, old bands, sounds, you know, things that people send to me. I'm very excited about it. I mean, even sometimes you get something like the Jan Hammer track we just played, which Tallulah, you have a little story about that, didn't you?
Oh, it was just, I actually showed it to Dad a few years ago, and in just the usual Dad way, he went, "Oh yeah, cool, yeah, no, that sounds nice," and I just completely forgot about it. And then in the past couple of months, when
Well, Errol played it to me. Errol Alcan played the track to me about 4 months ago, and I came back. I said to Tallulah, "Have you heard this track? It's amazing."
And she said, "Dad,
Typical. No one
played
listens to Tallulah.
No one listens to me either. You know why? You're the youngest of three.
Yeah.
Same as me. No one listens to me either. It's okay, Tallulah. We got it. We don't need them. Anyway, so Simon, once Tallulah said you've heard that track before, were you like, oh?
To be honest with you, it was more a kind of course, duh. Anyway, I think it's time for some more music. Tallulah, would you like to announce this one?
Sure. The next track is The Dream by the band The OCs.
I think you'll find that's The OCs.
That's exactly what it
Not
said.
The OCs.
The
Right.
OCs.
You know what I mean? It's The OCs.
Andy Warhol.
And I don't mean the as in the ones. I mean,
Right.
it's the as in you. It's The OCs. It's slightly religious sounding. Anyway, here's the music.
everybody. This is Katy. You're listening to Whoosh on Duran Duran Radio. And I have a question for Simon. Well, I don't, but as you know, if you email askkaty@duranduran.com with the subject line Whoosh Radio, you can ask a question. And we've got one from Angie from Italy. And ask Simon, do you keep all of the unreleased songs by Duran Duran? And will you rustle them up one day for us to hear?
I've made the biggest effort possible to keep a copy of everything that we've done, the unreleased stuff particularly. And you know, there's some things that just didn't make albums, and then there's the entire album that didn't get finished and released.
Right.
And between us, between the whole band, we've got everything, absolutely everything, every demo, every live recording, that we've got it all between us. And Nick, of course, is the keeper of the keys. He's the gatekeeper, the gatekeeper of Duran Duran. That's so 80s, wasn't it?
No, well, it was a little, maybe a little Max Headroom. I love that. I love that.
It's just landed on me. How lucky am I?
I think it's actually a moth.
Oh, it's a butterfly, isn't it?
Sorry,
it's going from the armpits.
I see it.
Is there
It
like
looks
some
like
kind of? It's a moth. It's a death moth, right?
Yeah, it's a moth for certain. And oh my gosh, right now I'd be.
There he is. He's on the screen.
It's definitely a moth.
Should we let it out? Do you want to let it out so that it doesn't die a death of? We're just going to open the window and try and kind of shepherd it towards the window.
I can't open that.
Let's name it.
No, you can't.
We'll name it after the last track.
We can't leave the window open, Tallulah. That's the only problem. Okay. It has to go. Oh, all right, we're going to leave it. We're going to leave the moth in here. The moth, that moth is now called The Dream by VOCs.
That's right, by Dream Moth. Tallulah, do you have any unreleased songs?
No.
Oh.
I'm glad to say.
Me neither. I just thought I would ask you if you had any, because I think all of you Le Bon girls can sing. Is that correct?
Absolutely, they can sing.
We are a little bit like we call ourselves the Le Bon Trap family. Sometimes it does.
The Le Bon Trap family.
The Le Bon Trap family. Yeah.
How cute! I'm going to tell a short story.
Adieu, adieu to you and you and you.
So one time, Tallulah, I was with your dad in California. It was very, very early. I still had bad hair. It was very early in my career with the band. And we were in a convertible, and the song Black Hole Sun came on the radio, and we sang it. We were listening to K-Rock, and we sang it. And at the very end of the song, your dad turned down the radio and looked at me and said, "Well, now we know why one of us is a lead singer and one of us isn't."
I never said
you
that.
did. I have the worst.
Yes. I can't believe that I would ever say anything.
You would.
Like that. No.
It was all. First of all, I have the world's worst voice, so it was fair play.
Okay.
100%. So, with that in mind, let's go on to someone who can sing.
Yeah.
And our next track is "Outdoor Miner" by the band Wire. What do you know about that? Who chose this? You or Tallulah, or both of you?
We both did.
Yeah. It's a song that we both love. I mean, I've known about Wire since they started in 1976. They always, to me, they were associated with the punk rock thing. I think mainly because of the name Wire. It's a very punk rock sounding name. So, and there were some bands in the punk movement which were just punk bands, and that was great. They did their thing. They lasted for 3 months, and then they were gone. The bands like Sex Pistols, The Clash, the Buzzcocks, and Wire had something more to them, and you just kind of knew that they were going to stick around for a bit longer, or you thought they would. Anyway, here it is on Whoosh. This is
Outdoor Miner.
No blind spots in the leopard's eyes can only help to jeopardize the lives of lambs that shepherd cries. And out to life for a silverfish, eternal dust, less ticklish than the clean room, a house gas way. He lies on his side, is he trying to hide? In fact, it's the earth, which is nonsense, but he lies on his side, is he trying to hide? In fact, it's the earth, which is nonsense, but face worker, a serpentine miner, a roof falls, an underliner of leaf structure, the egg timer. He lies on his side, is he trying to hide? In fact, it's the earth, which is nonsense, but he lies on his side, is he trying to hide? In fact, it's the earth, which is nonsense, but he lies on his side, is he trying to hide? In fact, it's the earth, which is nonsense, but he lies on his side, is he trying to hide? In fact, it's the earth, which is nonsense, but he lies on his side, is he trying?
Nobody move, there's blood on the floor, and I can't find my heart. Where did it go? Did I leave it in the cold? So please give it back, 'cause it's not yours to take. It must have fell when I lost my mind. Deep in the cup, drowning in pain. Somebody help, 'cause I can't find my way. Nobody move, nobody move. Somebody tell me how I'm supposed to feel when I'm sitting here knowing this ain't real. Why in the world would I give my heart to you just to watch you throw it in the trash? I've been juggling so long, I don't think I can hold on. Where were you when I needed you the most? Now I'm sitting here with the black hole in my chest, a heartless, broken mess.
You're listening to Duran Radio with Simon Le Bon and Katy Krassner.
Welcome back to WHOOSH. That was Them Changes by Thundercat.
Yeah, now Thundercat is one of the artists who Tallulah turned me on to. And wow, what a gift that is.
Yeah, I just think he's such an incredible bass player, and what he can do is so creative and innovative.
How do you find your music, Tallulah? Do you just troll Spotify or somebody turns you on to it?
I think I'm lucky that I have a lot of people around me that are really into music, and they normally listen to stuff and introduce me to it. And also I think Spotify is so useful for finding new music.
Yeah.
And the the Discover Weekly playlists.
Cool.
Yeah, I think they're really handy, and you can just kind of get lost in a Spotify hole, can't you?
Do you want to talk about Thundercat at all?
Well, what I wanted to say is I had heard of them, but I didn't know anything about them. And I didn't know that Stephen Lee Bruner, who is Thundercat, was in the Suicidal Tendencies. That I had no idea, which is like a thrash band. But what I love about this record, which came out in 2015, is he had guest appearances on this record from Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald. And then, Kendrick Lamar and Wiz Khalifa and Pharrell. But I mean, Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald are the Light FM of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely, yes.
So that he tapped into them shows me what an incredible mind he has for music. So I am equally as excited to have been introduced to them by you, Tallulah.
I want to just interject here with something completely off the wall that's not on the schedule.
Okay.
We got a letter last week from a guy called Chris Daddio.
Yep, Chris.
He's in a band called Everything Is Dirty. What a name. And I listened to some of their music, and they're actually not bad at all. I think we should play something by them. I really do.
Okay, are we
do.
playing?
You got two tracks to choose from. There's two tracks of his that I liked. There was two tracks. It was either San Andreas or I think it's called My Neon's Dead. I know, but I tell you, I think we're going to play San Andreas. Let's play San Andreas. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, right here on Whoosh, because we're spontaneous.
We are.
This is San Andreas by Everything Is Dirty. Everyone is dirty. Is it Everyone Is Dirty?
I don't have the letter in front of me.
I have got. So, I've already announced it, didn't I? Without that, it's a double. It's everyone. So here it is on Whoosh. Everyone Is Dirty with San Andreas.
Red summers and artificial cities, lighting her cigarette. I reach over and I pick up the bottle, suck it down flat on my back, and then suddenly I start to
How about that then? That was a little snippet of Everyone Is Dirty with San Andreas.
That was very cool. Cool debut. I'm sure that band will be thrilled. We have another.
They do really well.
Me too. We have another question that I think all three of us can answer. It's from Adelaide, a 16-year-old French fan of Duran Duran since last year. So she started to like Duran Duran when she was 15. And she'd like to know what our favorite movies of all time are.
That's a tricky question. Very tricky question for me.
Well, all three of us are going to answer.
I cannot come up with one. I can come up with a handful, maybe.
Me too.
I mean, for me, Apocalypse Now was always one of the great films. La Dolce Vita by Federico Fellini. That's an amazing film. But I actually really like Mary Poppins. Those are three off the top of my head right now. I'm sure there are plenty more other movies or films that I like a lot more. What about you, Tallulah?
Well, I love most Tarantino films, so that's a big chunk. And My Cousin Vinny's has got to be on there, I think.
That's funny. So I've been trying to watch movies with my kids now that I'm home. Yeah. And My Cousin Vinny is on our list. But what I did this weekend is I made a very tragic mistake. Do you guys know 16 Candles? Yeah. Okay, Tallulah knows it.
John Hughes film, isn't it?
John Hughes. It might not be like your kind of thing, Simon, but you know what? It's complete. It came out in 1984 when I was a teenager. It's a little racist watching it now. It has a lot of words that you don't want your kids to hear now. And it had a lot of boobies that I forgot that there was.
I'll definitely watch it then.
Lots of boobie in there. So but that's one of my favorite movies. And The Bad News Bears, I named my son Tanner after a character in that movie, is one of my favorite movies. And Mary Poppins is one of my favorite movies too.
I would say that My Cousin Vinny they might not really get the most out of it, because that I think, how old is Tanner now? He's
10.
So Hayden is 7?
5.
She's
the smartest one in the house.
I see. Oh, well, but try him out on it. It's a great film.
We'll see. But when there was boobs in 16 Candles, I quickly reached over and covered Tanner's eyes. And he said, "Why aren't you covering Hayden's eyes?" And I said, "She's a girl." Anyway, moving on. Maybe I will try My Cousin Vinny. I like that. And I love Marissa Tomei in it.
Oh, she's just fabulous.
Isn't she so funny when she taps her heels?
She is.
Anyway, our next track is by a band called Car Seat Headrest. And during our break, because we have little breaks, Tallulah mentioned a super interesting fact about them.
Well, it's just that they self-released 12 albums on Bandcamp before they were signed by Matador Records in 2015.
Do you know over what time period did they release those 12 albums?
Well, pre-2015.
And the other question is kind of what constitutes an album? Because sometimes you look on playlists and it says new album, and you click on it and it's got 2 tracks.
Well, that's true.
So I mean, it's a bit different from 40 minutes of music, which is always what we used to aim for when we made vinyl records. We made an LP, and that was the optimum was 40 minutes, because that was the best sound quality.
Well, for Car Seat Headrest, it's sort of an alternate project for singer Will Toledo, and so maybe he had loads of time to just keep creating as Car Seat Headrest. I don't really know, but their new album, Making a Door Less Open, came out on May 1st, as Tallulah said on Matador, and it's an electronic side project, says Will, and the video was totally creepy to me. So after you're done listening to the track, you should go find the video.
Yeah, we'll do.
It was weird.
Okay, let's hear it. Press play.
Justin, I will find you in the winter. I will find you when the world is asleep inside. I will wake my eyes to starlight. I will find you. I will. Justin, light is falling in the morning.
Welcome back. You just heard Dirty Back Roads by the B-52s, and I've only just found out that that song is about a certain, well, behind your back sex act, so to speak.
Indeed. And it's become sort of a gay anthem. And I think that that's super nice. B-52s in particular has always been supportive of gay rights and
absolutely.
and the movements and LBGQ. And so Dirty Back Roads.
LGBTQT.
Thank you.
Trans. Don't forget the trans. They get very upset when you leave them out, believe me.
I would never, ever. I have a very good friend who's trans.
Lovely. Should we take another question?
I think so. Here, it's just for Simon, and it's from Mary Lynn, who says, you have had a lot of great opening acts, and I'm wondering if any of them are a special favorite. Is there a band or artist you never got sick of hearing night after night, or is there an artist who opened for you that you would still listen to now?
Many. I mean, we've had some great ones. All right, so Scissor Sisters, very memorable act. Goldfrapp, hello. Who else have we had? We've had an amazing roster. Do you have a list there in front of you, Caddy? I bet you have. Come on.
Don't.
Yeah, and let us not forget Florence and the Machine.
That was amazing.
Yeah, so we've had some fantastic artists open for us. Often I sometimes sit backstage thinking probably we should be opening for them.
Such a humble guy you are. Humble. Hey, Tallulah, what's the next track?
The next track is The Seed 2.0 by The Roots, written by Katy Krassner,
who appears very much on this recording of it. Here it is.
She don't know. She want neo-soul, cause hip-hop is old. She don't want no rock and roll. She want platinum or ice and gold. She want a whole lot of sun to fold. If you were obstacles, you just drop your cold. Cause one monkey don't stop the show. Little Mary's bad. In these streets she done ran ever since when the heat began. I told a girl, look here, calm down, I'ma hold your hand to enable you to peep the plan, cause you was quick to learn. And we can make money to burn if you allow me to lay this game. I don't ask for much, but enough room to spread my wings. And the world finna know my name.
I don't ask for much these days, and I don't bitch and whine if I don't get my way. I only wanna fertilize another behind my lover's back. I sit and watch it the road standing where I'm at. Fertilize another behind my lover's back, and I'm keeping my secrets mine. I push my seed in her bush for life. It's gonna work because I'm pushing it right. If Mary dropped my baby girl tonight, I would name her rock and roll.
Cadillac needs space to roam. Where we headed from, she don't know. We in the city with a pro shake, ride and roll, and I'm a goddamn rolling stone. I don't beg, I can hold my own. I don't break, I can hold the chrome. In this way in a ton, and I'm a son of a gun. My code name is the only one, and black throat is bad. These streets he done ran ever since when the game began. I never played a fool. Matter of fact, I've been keeping it cool since money been changing hands, and I'm ready to shine. The legacy I leave behind be the seed that'll keep the flame. I don't ask for much, but enough room to spread these wings. And the world finna know my name.
I don't beg from no rich man, and I don't scream and kick when his shit don't fall in my hands, man. Cause I know how to steal fertilize another against my lover's will. I lick the opposition cause she don't take no pill. Ooh, you know, dear.
That was The Roots with Cody Chestnut and The Seed 2.0. I'm a big fan of Cody Chestnut, actually. I've been checking him out. And I think he's a little bit of an unsung hero. He's incredibly talented, has a great voice. But I think he's one of these artists who sort of falls between two stools. Because he's quite rocky. He likes kind of bluesy electric guitar, but he sings in a very sort of R&B soulful way. And I think it's very easy for artists like that not to appeal enough to the soul fans and not quite to appeal to the rock fans as well. So yeah, I think he's very talented, and I'm so happy to be turned on to that stuff.
I never knew what he looked like, Cody, until the other day.
He's a devilishly handsome chap, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he's a type. The Associated Press called this track one of the best songs of the decade.
We picked the right. We picked the right ones then, didn't we? And there you go, thinking that I've been looking at those Associated Press things to get our track listing.
Here I was thinking that you just are a genius in your musical taste, and your daughter takes after you.
Well, she does.
She does. How sweet is this?
So the next track we're going to play is this is a fantastic artist, and this is very much one of Tallulah's choices. So why don't you give a little talk about Ebo Taylor? What is it about this track that you like? Is there? Yeah.
I think just the joy behind it. I think it's one of those songs where you can sit out in the sunshine, listen to it, and it's going to pick your spirits up.
I mean, it's a very kind of retro sounding track.
It's
got a like a, I don't know, 60s feel, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Is that when it was recorded?
I think that's what gives it its joy and upbeatness.
It's definitely got a naivety and an innocence to it, doesn't it? It is very much music from another time, really. Sort of not these sort of, the times, certainly not the times we live in now, which are the best of times because it's the times that we're living in.
Yeah.
I did not know who Ebo Taylor was. No surprise. But I didn't realize that he's been such a pivotal figure on the Ghanaian music scene for 6 decades. So clearly I need to get around more. But he, I guess what a breaking point for him was in 2008, where he met the Berlin-based musicians from the Afrobeat Academy. And that led to the release of the whole album, Love and Death, on Strut Records. And that was his first internationally distributed album.
Right. Yeah, well, I definitely think this is an artist who's worth investigating. So we're going to play something from way, way, way back. This is Ebo Taylor with Will You Promise?
Mine, and I'll be yours. When those roses grow, I'll be there to smile and to kiss you, love me more. Only heaven knows what is in store for us in this sinful act we call love. You hate, you can't deny when your heart is bruised, and yet you speak all this love. So my little one, when you fall in love, the sun and the moon will always shine for you. But love is blind, you will live to see
to be mine, and I'll be yours. When the roses grow, I'll let it smile, and I'll kiss you to love me more. Only heaven knows what is up for us, and the shameful acting we don't know. You nature can't deny when your heart is closed, and yet you know this love. Oh, you nature can't deny when your heart is bruised, and yet you know this love. Oh, you nature can't deny when your heart is bruised, and yet you know this love. No, you can't deny when your heart is bruised, and yet you know this love. No, you can't deny when your heart.
Well, unbelievably, we have come pretty much to the end of our show.
No.
We haven't?
No, I'm just saying no. I can't.
Oh, we have. No, Katy, we have. Katy, we really have. I thought you meant no, we haven't.
No,
We
I
have.
love this.
We've come. I know. I love it too. It is the absolute highlight of my week making.
Me
this show.
too.
I think it's been a real pleasure again. I think we've played some great music. I should mention before we get off that the bonus track from last week was the track "I'm Not a Loser" by Amel and the Sniffers. We have another bonus track tonight, and we're not going to announce who it is. We'll just play it and then say next week who the track is. But this track this week is Tallulah's choice. So would you like to give us a little bit of info on why you like this track without giving any information away about who it is and what it's called?
No spoilers. It's just that when you listen to this, you'll know what I mean. If I was in a movie and I was a supervillain, I would want this to be my intro. That's it. That's all I need to say.
Okay, so you're going to wait for it. It's going to come up after this.
Simon, we have to introduce Romer.
I know. I was getting to it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
There's a little bit of confusion in this household whether it was Romare or Romare, and we finally found out that his name is Romer. He's an up-and-coming artist, clearly a huge talent, and we're going to play out tonight with All Night.
tears in 96 eyes. I got a garbage brain that's driving me insane, and I don't like the ride, so push that mess to the side. And baby, I won't care, cause baby, I don't scare, cause I'm a reborn maggot using gym warfare. Rock. I'm a human fly, I still feel why I say buzz, and it's just because I'm an unzipped fly, and I don't know why, but I say rock tonight, and I say rock it right, and I say but I don't know why. Just don't know why.